Hey guys, today's video is about vulnerability, and it's something that we all have, definitely. A lot of people avoid it like the plague, try to pretend like it doesn't exist, but it's always there somewhere, even if things are going well. I actually kind of disappeared for a couple of years on most people. Some of you may not have noticed just because of busy, crazy lives. I know that definitely a lot of you have noticed, and so yeah, that's what I'm talking to you about, being vulnerable. And it's been a rough couple of years, but it's getting way better, starting to have a lot of answers, and it's amazing. I want to share this with you because it could possibly help you. I know everyone's kind of struggling, and in some of my masterminds and groups that I have, groups of people that I fought fiercely to stay in contact with, it's been a consistent thing that people have been, somewhat kind of lost or stuck, or been battling something. Everyone's battling their own battle, or fighting their own battle, and yeah, it makes you distracted, discouraged, especially when you see, all the noise that's out there. And you see some people really successful, seemingly so, or maybe not so seemingly. There's a lot of noise though, a lot of fake stuff out there, but then there are also some real people, honest to God people that I've met that are doing really well for themselves, that have faced their battles head on and come out on top. And those are the people that you want to go towards. And I'm not necessarily saying I'm one of them yet, and that's hence the vulnerability, because I'm not there. I'm still digging myself out of my hole, and that is my current vulnerability. But there is an intense light at the end of the tunnel that I invite you to come join me on my journey. The more that I start to post, and I know that some of you have noticed that I've started posting more, and it's super positive, and I don't mean to make anybody gag with any of that stuff, but I mean to be helpful and to be vulnerable and transparent, because that is lacking in the world. People aren't as vulnerable as they should be. Everyone's trying to pretend to be something that they're not, in order to dupe the world into thinking that they're okay. And a lot of times, a lot of people aren't. And so I invite you on this journey with me, because it's awkward being vulnerable. I don't normally make videos, so this is new and weird for me, and I'm trying to break that because I know that I can help a lot of people. I've studied holism for about 17 years, and bits and pieces of that, of my story, will come out in time. And that was one of the biggest blows to me, was having studied this for so long, because of this connection to something that was way larger than myself, that I couldn't really explain. And it's experiential, and I would never want to push that on somebody, but I feel like there's this dichotomy now where people feel separated. They feel separated from each other, they feel separated from family, from their source, whatever that may be. Not saying that it's some intelligence kind of thing, but there's something that I've felt, and it's experiential. Like, some people don't have it, and that's okay. But anyways, I've studied holism for 17 years and hit a wall, and that was very painful for me, because here I am. Holism is like if you don't know, is basically the philosophy and study of interconnectedness and the concept of wholeness. And with the concept of wholeness, you can have your categories, but they're all part of the whole. If one is out of balance, all of them are out of balance. And I feel like most of the world is in that space. And for studying it for 17 years, I should know this. I should know this for myself. And that's not necessarily the case. To know and not do is to still not know. And those are super powerful words, very true words. And even though I felt like I was doing, there was still like the balance. Balance is the key. And so anyways, still crawling out of this like little hole, but in a nutshell, for the past couple of years, unbeknownst to me, I was living in a house that had the granddaddy of all black mold. And this wreaked havoc on everything. Health, especially for those of you that know, my fiance, Becca, was extremely ill, and that, you know, put a lot of strain on everything. I had to like work really, really hard, and that's no offense to her, because I mean, she had just gotten out of ICU, and we moved into this new place that we had no idea had black mold. And yeah, for 2 years we were there. We shouldn't be alive, honest to God. We should not. I don't. There's one thing that saved our lives, and it was you know, I won't go super into details right now. If you're interested, and if you're having health problems, if you're having financial problems, definitely hit me up. I've been through it. I'm pulling myself out of it. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. There are answers. So definitely hit me up. I'll help you out, and we can get through this together. But there was one thing that I was doing throughout that whole entire time, and it seemed to work so well for all the people that I had talked to, and did all this rigorous research and networking and trying to find a solution, an answer. And this one thing seemed to help out for everybody, like magic. And it wasn't working out so well for me, and it had me stuck for like a couple of years because I didn't know what was going on. And it finally got to the point where I couldn't keep going anymore, and the winter was coming, and I was like, shit, I don't fucking have any money. I don't have anywhere to go. I don't want my personal life problems to bleed out onto everybody else, and that's already what was happening. I was isolating myself. I was feeling like I was a burden to my family and friends. I was holding myself off. I was falling into this pit of depression, and I'm this happy-go-lucky guy, as you guys know, and that's why I disappeared, and I couldn't handle it anymore, and it got to the point where I had nowhere else to go except to move in with Becca's dad down in Jacksonville, Florida, which is where I'm at right now, obviously, and it's warmer. We're down here, as you can see. I'm outside, but this is really good because I needed that. I was like, honest to God, wasn't quite sure if we could survive the winter. So I leave, and we leave down to move down here, and our health immediately starts getting better. Everything starts getting better, and all of the 17 years of my holism started to click, and you know, as if by magic, you know. But that's the theory, and the that is holism right there, you know. If you balance all the aspects and you do it, you treat it as wholeness, that's what you get. You get prosperity, you get health, you get peace of mind, which is indispensable. And with that being indispensable, everybody should have that. If you have a pulse, you have a right to life. You have a right to freedom, to health, to happiness. And I want to give that. If I'm withholding my story, I feel that's ultimately selfish. And I know a lot of you are in pain, and a lot of you are dealing with tons of stuff. So with that being said, came down here, everything started straightening out, and my sister, who had taken over the house that we were staying in, immediately almost died. She got deathly ill. And it's because we invested in something that we took with us. And the reason that it wasn't working so well for us was because we were living every single day, breathing in black mold for 2 years straight. Every day, black mold, 2 years straight, until we moved down here. That to me is insane, that what we invested in was so powerful. It kept us alive for 2 years. And so, people have scoffed at it before, and I understood why they were scoffing, because it wasn't working as well for me at the time because of the context of where I was living. But this stuff was amazingly powerful, and I've honed my vision, my purpose. Everything that I wanted to do is like on crank. It's like the sky is the limit. I'm going to play music. I'm going to play my fucking heart out. I want to help everybody. I'm starting up a holistic consulting business, and it's going really well so far. Everything's going really well. So if you're in a tough spot, you don't have to be there. I can help you, and I have people that can help you. So don't pay attention to the news. Don't pay attention to the garbage that's out there. Don't pay attention to everyone that has their, that are in love with their opinions. They're shitting all over everybody else. I fought with that too, on top of dealing with all the other stuff that I have. Can you tell I have a chip on my shoulder? But it's garbage. Negativity doesn't need to be there. You are the culmination of the 5 closest people to you. I've had to cut out a bunch of people in my life to be able to live, like quite literally. Because when you factor in depression on top of all the things that you're dealing with, there's a reason that people are ODing. There's a reason that people are taking their own lives. This is a real thing. I've had so many, I cannot tell you how many friends that I've had that have died by suicide or OD or even freak accident. And I don't want to be like that. And I highly doubt that you want to be that way either. So I'm opening up my vulnerability now, my transparency. You should be seeing a lot more of me. And if you're having a rough time, reach out. I'm here for you, and we can do this together. And I do have some answers. And just want you guys to know that I have a massive vision. You guys are included in that vision if you wish to be. And I've got you. Much love to you all.